And the dilemma that we're in. Front page of the New York Times obviously has this Bloomberg story, Mubarak, but I'm looking at this, okay? It's a woman buying a $1,500 pair of shoes. Even with the economy in a funk and many Americans pulling back on spending, the rich are again buying designer clothing, luxury cars, and about anything that catches their fancy. Luxury goods stores, which fared much worse than other retailers in the recession, are more than recovering. They are zooming. Many high-end businesses are even able to mark up rather than discount items to attract customers who equate quality with price.
How many shoes do you get for $1,500?
One pair.
Just two
shoes? And they're
shoes?
flying off the shelves because there is a certain sector of our society that's doing just fine. Mike?
And look at
fine.
Look at the other story that you marked, and you haven't gotten to it yet.
Is that Bloomberg?
Yeah,
I got that.
About Mayor Bloomberg contributing millions to this fund to try and improve the lives of poor people in this, the richest city in this country, New York. Although the populations of young white, black, and Latino men in New York are roughly the same size, 84% of those in the city's detention facilities and nearly all of those admitted to children's and family services facilities are black and Latino youth. The disparity between rich and poor in this city is enormous.
Rich and poor.
The disparity throughout the country is widening.
Yeah.
So the mayor.
I want to stay on the story you're talking about the $1,500 shoe. This is an anecdote.
I mean, look at this
of something that is happening. One anecdote happening all over America. The wealthy are getting wealthier. There has been a great recovery in this country. If you're rich, Wall Street profits are booming. The Wall Street Journal, we pointed out a couple weeks ago, Willie, the Wall Street Journal said corporate profits are higher than they've been in 5 years, but they're not hiring people. The rich, since 2008, I mean, the rich have been getting richer for a long time. The poor have been getting poorer. But this recovery, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it, where the middle class and the poor are getting worse, while the wealthy are getting faster,
and
richer,
living shamelessly.
Every time at 8:30 in the morning, we talk to our Wall Street correspondent down there. Now, the last week has been bad for the Dow, but the way the Dow has gone up, there's been this disconnect between unemployment rising and the Dow rising. Corporate profits going up, and yet still more people unemployed. That doesn't add up to a lot of people.
The smart Republican who runs for president is going to realize there's room on the left of Barack Obama on this very issue. They can say the Obama economic policies have led to this disparity, and that they side with the working people.
Wow.
If you can make that argument not just as a rhetorical point, but with policies that are convincing, that's powerful.
A populist conservative, I'm not talking about protectionism, but a populist conservative could win this thing. And they could win it by saying three things. Number one, you're right. We're going to cut spending in Washington, D.C. Long-term debt, we're going to take care of that, number one. Number two, we're going to get out of the wars. We've been fighting for a decade enough. And number three, we're going to make sure that the biggest corporations in America at least pay
reform
the same tax rate as the secretaries in those corporations. That is a winner. I don't care if you're in a conservative district, an independent district, a liberal district, but nobody's saying it. Nobody's saying it.
That's where you get to, in the opinion, I think, of a lot of people who I speak to, smarter people than I am, the biggest political mistake the Obama administration has made thus far is that they didn't focus on tax reform a year and a half ago and just hammer at it every single day.
Because the Republicans would fight that.
That's the equity issue.
And you talk about, this is about a fair tax code.
Yeah.
And Republicans want that. I'm not talking about Republicans in Washington, D.C., Republican leaders, but I'm telling you, Republicans in my old district, Republicans on Cape Cod, Republicans in Nebraska, they want to make sure that the biggest corporations on the planet are at least paying as much in taxes as they are.
Do you think Mika could do us a favor?
What?
Would you take off the shoes and show us what a $1,500 shoe?
Would you do that?
That's pretty funny. Yeah. I've never bought them myself. Donnie did give me a pair, for the record. But I'm sorry, this is shameless.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who thinks that's okay?
So if you have rich friends that buy them for you, so you get them for free, that's fine. That's not shameless.
She's just borrowing them. She's going to give them back.
I could see. He had that look on his face like he was going to be naughty.
You know what? The Right Reverend Mika, get off of your get off of your pulpit.
While this woman buys her shoes on the other part of the front page, the mayor, just to clarify and to tell people exactly what he's doing, he's spending $130 million to improve the lives of Black and Latino men. The article in the New York Times says Bloomberg will personally contribute $30 million of his own money to the effort. He's announcing the plan today. He'll be on the show on Monday.
Okay.
That's all.
Very good.